fight her.
Oh, big right hand! One punch! That is it! Forget about the count. It is
There you go. Go in that window.
Hi, I'm Susie from Women's Fight News, and I'm here today with Canadian boxer Natasha "The Nightmare" Spence. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And you're a former WBF World Super Light Champion, is that right?
Correct, yes.
And I wanted to start sort of from the beginning, so that the British public can know more about you.
Okay.
So what I wanted to ask is, how did you get into boxing in the first place?
Well, I've always loved boxing ever since I was a little kid. It's a bit crazy because nobody in my family fought before me. But I remember my mom would tell me as a kid, if boxing was on TV when I was like a toddler, I would raise my hands like a champion, or I would pretend to punch. And so I've always just loved it. And I actually got into it. I started boxing when I was 19, believe it or not. And a family member brought me into a gym. She's like, I know you love it. Try it out. And the coach came up to me after class and said, how long have you been boxing for? And I was like, an hour. And he was blown away. He couldn't believe it. So I just stuck to it ever since that. It's in my heart.
So I understand you've got some big amateur background, like you won the Golden Gloves twice, is that right?
Yep, the Ontario, the Canadian Golden Gloves. It's not the same as the American Golden Gloves, but it's what we have here, yeah.
And then you started in your pro. So when did you debut?
I debuted in 2010. I only had 15 amateur fights at the time. It got to the point in my amateur career where I would show up at tournaments and women would pull out, or I was having trouble getting matched for fights. So I went pretty stagnant for a while. And my coach at the time just said, what about going pro? At the time, there was no women's boxing in the Olympics, so it wasn't even an option for me then. So we just decided with 15 fights, why not? That was the next step for me.
So how do you feel that women's boxing has changed since you had your debut? Because you must have seen some sort of changes over the years.
Oh, huge changes, definitely. I'd say the biggest one first was, women's boxing being a part of the Olympics. That was huge. And I think that was a chance for women to show their skill and what we can bring to the table. A lot of the time when people would hear women's boxing, they just didn't take it seriously. Some people never even watched a match before and had negative things to say about it. So I think with the debut of women's boxing in the Olympics, it gave people a chance to actually see what we're capable of. And then big promotion companies signing females. That I'd say would be the next biggest thing that has happened, and it's been amazing. It's great.
Yeah, the last year has been particularly great, hasn't it? And the profile of women's boxing in the UK has gone sort of shot up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's great to be a part of it right now, and it's great to watch. And some of the talent out there is it's doing right by women's boxing, and it makes me really proud to be a part of it.
And with there's so many sort of younger generation coming through more and more, isn't there? And I understand you're a coach and you're a trainer yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my full-time gig is fighter and coach. So I help with a professional on the side, and I also coach elite level amateurs and young kids, and it's just it's what I do every day. I'm either training or coaching someone else to fight. So it's my 7 days a week.
Your full passion, your everything.
Sorry, what's that?
Your full passion, your complete passion,
Oh, yeah.
boxing.
100%.
So, looking at your record, you've never been stopped in your career. You've obviously got a good chin. So, what's been your toughest fight, and who hit the hardest, do you think?
By far, Hannah Gabriel's. Yeah, that was definitely my toughest fight to date. If I were to add amateur and sparring and everything in one, and I've grown into the sport sparring with men that were heavier than me, and by far she was my toughest go. I moved up quite a few weight classes to take her on. I thought I was ready for that weight. I definitely wasn't. I'd say over the last few years, I've definitely matured physically, and I'm a lot stronger now. But at the time, it was a lot different than I thought it was going to be. So she was very, very powerful, very strong, and it was a great match. But again, yeah, by far my toughest and one of my greatest fights, I think, for sure.
So talking about the future and your future plans with boxing, because I know you haven't fought for a little while. So what's your current plans for your boxing career?
Well, before all this pandemic stuff started, I was actually in training camp to fight in Toronto, and I was halfway through camp, and then this kind of shutdown started. And before that, I had 2 full camps before that I had trained for. One fight got canceled 2 days before the bout. I was in prime shape, ready to go, and the rematch of that canceled bout. Same thing. I did almost a full camp, and the week of the fight, I'm not sure what happened, but again, it got canceled. So to be honest, I've been in the gym this whole time. I've done 2.5 full camps with no fight over the last 3 years. It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. My plan, I'm definitely far from done with boxing. My plan is to definitely get back in there when the time is right. I've been training. I've been focusing on different things, different aspects of my game. Just kind of having fun with training right now and learning new things, new tricks. I am 35 years old. I still believe I have a few good years left. No, I haven't taken much punishment at all. In the amateurs, none. I'd say, my fight with Hannah Gabriels was the only one that I was a bit banged up for a few weeks after, a couple black eyes and a little tender. But other than that, I never really experienced what it was like to actually, get in there and fight. I usually would wake up the next day feeling good. So I do have a lot of shelf life left, I think. And, like I said, it's inside of me, and I live and breathe it, and I'm a part of it every single day. So I'm just waiting for the opportunity to showcase what I've grown into as a fighter.
What weight are you hoping to fight at next?
Welterweight. That's definitely going to be, moving forward, a comfortable weight for me. I'd say maybe give or take a couple pounds, but welterweight is where I've been very comfortable, and just my strongest, my fastest, easy weight to get to. So obviously, if the opportunity comes at a different weight and it's a weight that it's attainable for me and it makes sense, I'll sit down with my team and talk about it. But my sweet spot would be welterweight. Yeah.
And is there anyone in particular you'd like to target?
No, to be honest with you, if I got a call today and it made sense, I would fight anybody. I'm confident in my ability and a lot of the abilities that the world hasn't seen yet. People around me know what I'm talking about. People in my camp know what I'm talking about, but I don't think I've had an opportunity to display even a fraction of what I'm capable of. So for the right, the right reason, the right timing, there's not anyone out there that I would say no to if it made sense, obviously. So yeah.
I'll ask you, thinking about sort of, because it's your passion, your big passion, boxing. Who's been your idols growing up? Was there a particular boxer that you really caught your eye that you've always looked up to, or?
Definitely Sugar Ray Leonard. When I first got into boxing, I remember watching one of his fights and literally being in awe. I used to play his fights in the background every single day. I would wake up and literally put the DVD in, and it would just spin every day. And no matter if I left the house or if I was at the gym, I'd put it in at the gym. He was just always on in the background, listening to, the commentators talk about him, or taking a glimpse at the TV. Sugar Ray Leonard, for the most part, for the longest time. When I started to get into watching females and it started getting more popular, I would say Layla McCarter, for sure, in my opinion, is and has been one of the greatest women's boxers that I've ever laid eyes on. I had the pleasure of meeting her, and she embodies like everything that I think is important to have in the ring. And beautiful human being, amazing ring IQ, footwork. She's a pleasure to watch. So I'd say she's up there on my list of greatest for sure too.
And for anybody who hasn't seen you fight, how would you describe your boxing style to someone?
I'd say exciting, footwork, hand speed, and some power in there. A lot of people that have seen me fight or that know me would say I'm known for my power, but I wouldn't even say that that's an attribute that is worth listing. I like to dance, I like to move, and that's another reason why I feel like I haven't been able to showcase what I'm capable of, because not a lot of my fights out there, you'll actually see that, the movement, the dance. I've been told by a lot of coaches that I have a high ring IQ. I've been watching boxing, like I said, almost every day for the past 15 years. I study it, I love it. So I'd say excitement, and I'm harder to hit than a lot of people. I don't like getting hit, so.
And obviously you're saying boxing's your passion, but have you got any other passions outside of boxing?
Just family, family, music. I love music, learning how to play the guitar, and just, yeah, family and music. But boxing takes up a lot of time. It's hard to fit anything else in there, especially when not only are you training, but you're coaching it as well. So it's a full-time plus gig, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel very blessed and fortunate to be able to do it. I don't feel like I'm working every day. I feel like I'm just doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it makes me happy. So.
And if there's one bit of advice you could give to your younger self of something that you know now but you could have told yourself way back, what would it be?
Wow, that's a great question. Oh man, there's so many things. I'd say, I'd have to say, definitely follow your heart. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how many naysayers are along the way telling you that, you shouldn't be doing it, you can't do it, it's for men, or it's whatever it is, follow your heart and stay true to yourself. It's very easy to lose yourself along the way. Stay true to yourself and enjoy the journey. I'd say that's probably the biggest regret I have, and thank God I still have time to make up for it, and I'm doing it now, but not enjoying the journey, just thinking of what's next, and forgetting that, whatever happens today can be beautiful, can be fun, can be great, and can be a part of, what you're doing. Just forgetting about the journey being, part of it, and a huge part of it. So definitely enjoy the journey and be true to yourself. Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything. I can't wait to see you in the ring. I want to see your fancy footwork and your skills in the ring.
Thank you.
But let's hope it's not too long. Let's hope COVID goes away and you can get back in there.
Yeah, hopefully. But whether or not that happens, I'm still going to continue to train, and I'll be training till I can't train anymore. So you know, something will come. Be ready for it no matter what. And yeah, just looking forward to that.
Thank you very much, Natasha.
Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you. Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click like now and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Thank you. Bye.